Are we rolling? Forever is so woke. Why is everyone in the show black? And there are women? I don't even care about race. In fact, I'm colorblind. But why is the only white person the best friend? Why couldn't the mom be white? Or the dad? Maybe they adopted the daughter or the son. All right, let me see. Do I have a million views yet? 100,000 scrubs? Scrubs? Subs? Nope. All right. I guess I'll give my genuine thoughts on the show. I gotta keep this short because I'm an undisciplined monkey turd that can't seem to write reviews faster than I watch new shows. When I reviewed Ginny and Georgia, I mentioned wondering what the kids are watching these days and lamented the lack of shows with 20 to 24 episodes a season every year. Forever is a young adult teen drama with a pretty damn authentic high school experience, but the short series format seems to be a perfect fit. The most unrealistic part about this show is that it's based on a 1975 Judy Blume book, I think by the same title. I didn't really look into the book much. My assumption is it's a story about a girl from the wrong side of the tracks, or she's got some scarlet letter and a wealthy guy is drawn to her like a fruit fly to a ripe banana, and they fall in love. I'm probably wrong, but it doesn't really matter because I couldn't even understand why a story this authentic needed to be based on old material. Forever is set in 2018 and follows the love story of our two protagonists, Keisha, played by Lovie Simone, and Justin, played by Michael Cooper Jr. This is the first time I've seen Lovie Simone in anything, and I was impressed. She's another young talent, only 27, with a pretty nice resume. First thing I liked about the show is she plays a track and field star who's chasing a full ride to Howard, and she actually looks like an athlete. She's got a fit, muscular build, and you're never like, oh, this person doesn't look like they could be such and such, which happens in a lot of shows and immediately distracts you from the material. Mild spoilers if you haven't seen the show, but she's coming out of a relationship and is forced to leave her school as a result after her boyfriend leaks a sex tape to his friends and it gets spread around the school. This is probably something that happens to a lot more often these days than any decent human being would like. I got my first cell phone when I was 18. The camera on it was absolute trash. So through high school, no one was carrying around a 4K camera with 24 battery life in their pocket. This is a problem that a generation of young kids has had to learn to deal with the hard way. And shit, there are plenty of dudes my age who probably still share sex they get from women for reasons I don't care to think about. Probably insecurity, for keeping it simple. Anyway, she meets Justin just after starting at her new school, and they immediately hit it off. They knew each other when they were littler kids, so it makes their connection that much easier. From there, massive amounts of teen drama ensue. The production of the show is excellent. It is a show that benefits from not being 20 to 24 episodes and takes advantage of the 8-episode format, like I said. The show looks like it costs a pretty penny. It's visually gorgeous. I love the color grading and the aesthetics. Justin, played by Michael Cooper Jr., who I also haven't seen in anything before, comes from a wealthy family. His dad, played by veteran actor Wood Harris, who I've seen in a ton of shit, is a successful chef, and his mom is like a lawyer or something. She's played by another veteran, Karen Pittman. She's been in a bunch of high-quality shows I haven't seen. I did see her in Luke Cage, however. Anyway, I bring that up because they live in what I would describe as a mansion in a gated community. So every scene shot with Justin's family is fairly gorgeous and leaves you feeling a bit jealous. Unless you already got it like that. Thematically, the show keeps it fairly simple in following the love story of these two young lovebirds. It's got high highs, dramatic overblown lows, and plenty of teen angst in between. The show doesn't get very political, which I had fears at times would be unavoidable. Except in the first episode when Justin's parents have to basically warn him about how he should behave if he has any encounters with, I'll just say, certain groups of people. It's just an unfortunate reality that basically can't go unsaid for a show that derives a lot of its quality from its authenticity and reality. The acting was grounded and believable. For being a drama about young love, there weren't these wildly theatrical scenes, just believable jealousy, angst, anxiety, and tension. I felt like the show never drifted too far from Justin and Keisha, and both actors excelled. Justin was great as the nerdy athletic artist. Michael Cooper did a great job embodying the quiet, reserved introvert with anxiety and ADD issues. He was subdued, but had no issues expressing passion either, without stepping out of the bounds of his reserved character. Lovie Simone had a much wider spectrum of emotions to cover, and she pulled it off with little effort, it appeared. Tears flowed seemingly on command. Her character is much more focused and driven than Justin's, but she also never seemed to hold back her love either. I was happy to see her mother, played by, I'm going to butcher this, Zosha Roquemore. She's another veteran of the acting business. The content I've seen her in, she's usually the funny, bubbly character. Unfortunately, I think she sometimes gets pigeonholed into the caricature of the loud, brash comedic relief, especially on the Mindy Kaling show. But she gets to show a very down-to-earth, realistic character in this series, and I loved seeing her in this role. The writing was great. All the dialogue felt believable and authentic. The story never dragged, and it didn't feel like they lingered on any topics too long. The pacing of the script was just right. Unlike Ginny and Georgia, which I keep comparing to, this show doesn't follow the adults very much. You just get glimpses of their lives, and what you do see is mainly focused on the job of parenting. Everyone mostly plays supporting roles to Justin and Keisha. The show is set in 2018. I graduated way back in 2002, but because Justin is a nerd and has a love for older music, slightly insulting, as he wants to become a producer, this show felt very nostalgic for me as well. That will tie into the last part of the show I'll cover, the soundtrack. I won't linger on this one much. It's exceptional. An equally great compliment to the elite cinematography. Overall, the show is somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8 for me. One thing I take into consideration when it comes to scoring is the genre. A show like this, it's damn near impossible to get much higher just because it is mainly a romance, and it's mostly following the same formula as such. It gets high marks for telling a more unique story in a beautiful, heartfelt, modern way. I believe I did see it spend a couple weeks at number 1 on Netflix TV shows. So, if you haven't already seen it, and you like a nice, authentic, well-written, dramatic romance, give it a watch. And that's it for me. So, until next time, deuces. I think that's it, buddy.